First Chronicles chapter 7. Issachar's descendants. Issachar had 4 sons. Their names were Tola, Puah, Jashub, and Shimron. This chapter is the same as the last. Great. Tola's sons were Uzi, Raphiah, Jeriel, Jamai, Ibsam, and Samuel. These were all the leaders of their families. Those men and their descendants were strong soldiers. Their families grew. By the time David was king, there were 22,600 men ready for war. Uzi's son was Israiah. Israiah's sons were Michael, Abadiah, Joel, and Ishiah. All 5 of them were leaders of their families. Their family history shows they had 36,000 soldiers ready for war. They had a large family because they had many wives and children. The family history shows there were 87,000 strong soldiers in all the tribes of Issachar. Benjamin's descendants. Benjamin had 3 sons. Their names were Bela, Becher, and Jediel. Bela had 5 sons. Their names were Esbon, Uzi, Uzziel, Jeremoth, and Eri. They were leaders of their families. Their family history shows they had 22,034 soldiers. Becher's sons were Zimrah, Joash, Eliezer, Elionai, Amri, Jeremoth, Abijah, Anathoth, and Alimeth. They all were Becher's children. Their family history shows who the family leaders were. And it also shows they had 22,000, and it also shows they had 20,200 soldiers. Cross my eyes and call me dyslexic. Okay. Jediel's son was Bilhan. Bilhan's son were Joash, Benjamin, Ehud, Kenana, Kenana. Say that 2 times fast. Zethan, with a Z, Tarshish, and Aishahar. All of Jediel's sons were leaders of their families. They had 17,200 soldiers ready for war. The Shupites and Hupites were the descendants of Hushim, were the son of Ahir. Naphtali's descendants. Naphtali's sons were Jaziel, Guni, Jezer, and Shalom. And these are the descendants of Bilhah. Manasseh's descendants. These are Manasseh's descendants. Manasseh's Aramean slave woman had a son named Azriel. She also bore Machir, the father of Gilead. Machir married a woman from the Hupites and Shupites. Machir's sister was named Maacah. The name of the second was Zelophehad. Oh my gosh. Zelophehad, who had only daughters. Machir's wife, Maacah, had a son. She named this son Peresh. His brother was named Sheresh. The sons of Sheresh were Ulam and Rakim. Ulam's son was Bedan. These were the descendants of Gilead. Gilead was Machir's son. Machir was Manasseh's son. Machir's sister, Hamoleketh, had Ishad, Abiezer, and Mala. Shemida's sons were Ahian, Shechem, Likhi, and Anayam. Ephraim's descendants. These were the names of Ephraim's descendants. Ephraim's son was Shuthelah. Shuthelah's son was Bered. Bered's son was Tahath. Tahath's son was Eliadah. Eliadah's son was Tahath. Tahath's son was Zabad. Zabad's son was Shuthelah. Some men who grew up in the city of Gath killed Ezer and Eliad. This happened because Ezer and Gilead went there to steal cattle and sheep from those men in Gath. Ephraim was the father of Ezer and Gilead. He cried for many days because Ezer and Gilead were dead. Ephraim's family came to comfort him. Then Ephraim had sexual relations with his wife. She became pregnant and had a son. Ephraim named this new son Beriah because something bad had happened to his family. Ephraim's daughter was Shirah. Shirah built Lower Beth Horon and Upper Beth Horon, and Lower Uzan Shirah and Upper Uzan Shirah. Rephah was Ephraim's son. Resheph was Rephah's son. Telah was Resheph's son. Tahan was Telah's son. Ladan was Tahan's son. Amihud was Ladan's son. Elishama was Amihud's son. Nun was Elishama's son. Joshua was Nun's son. Boy, them names are just the most challenging, I'm telling you. These are the cities and lands where Ephraim's descendants lived. Sorry, I'm kooky. Bethel and villagers near it, Naaran to the east, Gezer and the villages near it on the west, and Shechem and the villages near it all the way to Ayah and the villages near it. Along the borders of Manasseh's land were the towns of Bethshan, Taanach, Megiddo, and Dor, and the small towns near them. The descendants of Joseph lived in these towns. Joseph was the son of Israel. Asher's descendants. Asher's sons were Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, and Beriah. Their sister was named Sirah. Beriah's sons were Heber and Malkiel. Malkiel was Birzai's father. Heber was the father of Japhlet, Shomer, Hotham, and their sister Shua. Japhlet's sons were Pasak, Bimhal, and Ashvath. These were Japhlet's children. Shomer's sons were Ahi, Roga, Jehubah, and Aram. Shomer's brother was Hilim. Hilim's son was Zophah, Imnah, Shelesh, and Amal. Zophah's sons were Suah, Harnefer, Shual, Beri, Imrah, Bezer, Hod, Shema, Shilshah, Ithran, and Bera. Big family. Jethro's sons were Jephunneh, Pispah, and Ara. Ulah's sons were Ara, Haniel, and Rizia. All these men were descendants of Asher. They were leaders of their families. They were the best men. They were soldiers and great leaders. Their family history shows 26,000 soldiers ready for war.